It's been a night of fear and fire. In the early hours this morning, Kiev awoke once again to the wail of air raid sirens and the thud of incoming missiles. Russia unleashed one of the largest aerial barrages since the full-scale invasion began. Swarms of Iranian-designed Shahed drones, Caliber cruise missiles from the Black Sea, and even Kinzhal hypersonic weapons. 5-story apartment blocks were hit. Fires tore through homes, schools, and a cardiology institute. At least 3 people died, including a 12-year-old girl, and dozens were injured. The city's mayor, Vitaly Klitschko, pleaded with residents to stay underground as emergency crews fought flames and rescued survivors. These were not precision strikes on frontline armour or command posts. They were aimed squarely at civilian infrastructure, housing blocks, bakeries, schools, a childcare centre. Russia has long used such tactics to sap morale and punish cities far from the trenches. But the timing here is striking. Ukraine's energy grid was spared this time, unlike last winter's campaign. But the psychological effect of waking to collapsing homes and burning streets is unmistakable. The shockwaves didn't stop at Ukraine's border. Poland scrambled fighters and closed airspace over Lublin as drones approached NATO territory. Similar incursions have rattled Romania, Estonia, and Denmark in recent weeks, a deliberate testing of Western resolve. Moscow issues threats about decisive responses as if its own airspace is violated, yet shows no restraint in violating others. Why now? Why now? One answer lies in politics, not in the battlefield, because this week both the Czech Republic and Moldova hold elections. In Prague, the Prime Minister, Petr Fiala, fights to keep power against Andrej Babiš, whose populist movement has flirted with pro-Kremlin rhetoric. In Moldova, President Maia Sandu faces a furious, well-financed Russian effort to tilt the country back towards Moscow. Vote buying, deep fakes, disinformation networks run out of Telegram groups promising apples cash from Russia. Kiev itself will not vote, but Ukrainians know Moscow wants to influence the climate across Eastern Europe, demoralize Ukraine, spook its allies, and empower pro-Russian parties next door. These missile and drone attacks are just one arm of a wider hybrid strategy. Russia floods Czech and Moldovan media with tens of thousands of fake news articles each month. It bankrolls parties promising referenda on NATO and the EU. It uses the Orthodox Church as a messaging channel, and it couples this with kinetic terror from the sky. The message: the West cannot protect you. Russia can strike anywhere. And Moscow also hopes to shape Western debate. At the UN General Assembly, Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov warned NATO not to shoot down Russian aircraft. Within days, Russia launched this assault. President Trump, after meeting Volodymyr Zelensky, surprised many by saying Ukraine could fight and win all of Ukraine back, yet he has imposed no new sanctions. The Kremlin is betting that if it inflicts enough visible suffering, Western unity will still fray and US resolve will wobble ahead of its own election season. Despite the destruction, Kiev's response remains grimly defiant. Firefighters worked through the night. Air defense crews shot down the majority of incoming weapons. Social media filled with images of neighbours clearing rubble, comforting each other in metro shelters. As the smoke billows around. After 2.5 years of war, Ukrainians have learned to survive and to keep functioning even under mass attack. This assault is a warning shot. Energy experts believe Russia will again target the grid as temperatures drop, hoping to freeze the capital into submission. The Russian winter, the Ukrainian winter, is bitter. Ukraine has bolstered air defences with systems such as Patriot launchers, one reportedly transferred via Israel, but stocks of interceptors remain tight. Without Western resupply, the coming winter could test Ukraine's capacity to keep the lights on. These strikes are not just about military advantage, they're about undermining democratic choice in the region. Moldova's pro-EU government faces an electorate bombarded with Kremlin cash and lies. Czech voters see a blizzard of conspiracy-laden websites. Ukraine itself lives under bombs meant to break faith in a European future. Russia's message is blunt. Democracy near our borders will be punished. The West's response cannot be only sympathy. It means harder economic pressure on Moscow, faster air defence deliveries and clear rebuttals to propaganda, both online and on the ground. Above all, it means understanding the stakes. This is not just Ukraine's war, but a campaign to shape Europe's political map. As Ukrainians dig survivors from rubble in Kiev, their courage is not only self-defence, it is a front line for democratic Europe as votes are cast in Prague and also in Moldova.